Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live. It's Season 2, Episode 31, and it's our BP update and review. Hello, admins. Hello, George, first this time. I'll say George. I'll normally ladies first, but I'll just say, how are you, George? I'm glad you're better.
Good. I'm glad I'm back.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're back. Okay, for those that aren't in the know, one of our most strongest advocates of doing everything BP and got his own blog and that sort of stuff. George has not been particularly well the last few weeks and that sort of stuff, but he's back with us, and it's good to see you back, buddy.
I am. Thank you very much.
Okay, and hi, Robin. How are you? You're right.
Doing good, thanks, and also happy to see George back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Bit concerned there, but he's back and it's all good. So there we go. We'll be up and running as a proper team soon. Ren, unfortunately, has got a corporate function to go to this evening, so he won't be here. And Brian generally quite late and runs in, and then his mic doesn't work anyway at the end. So yeah, we'll see how it goes anyway. So let's go through this week's slides. We'll have a look at the update, and we'll take it from there. I think it's probably the best thing. I'll pop some up. We'll take it in turns with a bit each. So. Right, there we go. There's the title. What have we got then? Let's have a look. So this is this week's release then. So we've got obviously the CM note. Okay, interesting for Rampage is this first one. It's not exactly the most gripping thing in the world, but there we go. Content for this week is the Endgame TLC, which is back. Okay, Plunder TLC, which is also back. Skyfire's on week 2, so we've got some bits and bobs on that in case somebody hasn't started it, because there was so much content last week for TLCs that some people may not have got to it because you did have the full 2 weeks to do it. And there's some bug fixes and tuning. So that's basically about it. So let's look forward then. So the normal note then, so this week's bringing back 2 more of our faction time limited campaigns. Okay, remember when they're time limiting campaigns, right? The end game one, which is obviously to get you Oppressor, and Plunder, which obviously gets you the Survivor. I think it's timely that these have come back because these are some of the earlier ones as well, apart from obviously the Liberate, which was right at the start. So the fact that in the last week we had obviously the TLC that got you tons and tons of tokens, and obviously the new ship, which looks like a sub that isn't a sub. Someone tell that to Liam, please. He thinks it's a sub. Okay. Just a little dig there, don't worry. What do I do with this new sub? Bless him.
Don't drive it. That's what you should have told him.
That's wrong of me to say. A lot lately. So he's like that, right, I've got the sub now. What do I do with it? I was like that. Yeah, mate, it's not sub. Which did make me chuckle. Maybe I shouldn't have said it on there. Anyway, so yeah. But what's good is you got stacks and stacks of tokens. So some people have got tokens now they haven't got a whole for. So I sort of understand why they've gone full circle, and now they brought back obviously some of the older TLCs. So for the set. Right, okay. So Endgame there is. It's up. Yeah, sorry, mate, go on.
I was just going to ask. I mean, with all the Conqueror stuff that's been pushed out, last week and now this week. I mean, what do you think about? Is this foretelling of something or?
Damn it! Quit stealing my thunder.
Well, yeah. Were you going to say the bounty thing? Because I'm just looking at it. I'm like, that's a lot of Conqueror stuff.
Yeah,
man. That's a lot of Conqueror stuff.
I think we're about there. Robin, go on. You go.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say that Ren had posted on the site a note about if you're interested in doing bounty, and for those that may not have heard about it, bounty is a new thing that Kix will be bringing out, where you'll be able to go and beat up on other people's bases and earn some prizes, things that are not generally available in the game. And so there's a reason why they're putting all of these TLCs out, and that allows you to get all of the hulls that you're able to use to go out and hit said bases. So if you've not done them in the past, and bounty does sound like something that you want to participate in, then obviously, take part in these TLCs and get the tokens and get the hulls out there for it.
Yeah, and I mean, with all the tokens, you can crank out a bunch of them. I mean, they might not be ranked, and we might not see bounty until after the raid and after the XP weekend maybe, but even still, I mean, I think it foretells a whole lot that's coming, and it's going to be interesting. And before anyone gets really upset too, like I keep on hearing this, and I want to clarify this. With regard to bounty, if you enter into bounty and you find out it's not your thing, right? You're only tied into it for that one event. You're not. It's not a permanent option in. You have to opt in every time.
It's not a mega hole moment.
You have to opt in every time. It's not. You're not permanently opted in. So I just want to make sure that's clear, because that's
Have a crack. Why not? You know, it's good. Good
Yeah.
for fun.
And they've also built in, and for those radars who are going off with, you know, people talking about, oh, level 100 spec my level 50 base. They've also built in, you know, kind of restrictions to where, and George, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you have to hit somebody that's somewhat on your level, so that if you are a level 50, you can't just go out and schwack a bunch of level 50 bases, correct?
The way that I understand it is, as bounty starts and then progresses, your bounty amount is going to initially be tied to your base level, but then for you to get more bounty, you can't hit down. And I don't know if it's going to be tied. I don't know if it's going to be tied directly to level or directly to bounty. That has not been clarified to me yet. But that's my understanding, is that in order for you to gain bounty, you have to hit up. Otherwise,
okay, so that's at least
some
kind of governor in there, so that you know, Mr. Level 127 can't go around and do nothing but hit 50s. And so that was one of the concerns that I had received a PM on. And so it sounds like they've made accommodations for that.
Yeah, so I can clarify that point. So everyone's going to start with exactly the same number of points. Okay, so you'll get all the same number of bounty points. Just to say it's 5k. Okay, and so the first person that's level 120 somebody is going to go and pick on a level 50, and he's going to steal 3k's worth. Okay, and then from that point onwards, he can no longer hit that level 50 base, but nor can anybody else that's got anything over the remaining 2k's. Okay, and however, that level 50 base then can then hit anybody that's 2k and above. And that's basically how it's going to go. That's not so.
They finalized
top dog stuff, but each level will have set abilities and that sort of stuff. So it's not just a case that, you know, if the person in that world has got the top number and that sort of stuff, then great. But they're going to do it in chunks and that sort of stuff, I believe. So, but it'll be interesting. I mean, there'll be some slight adjustments as it goes along and that sort of stuff, and it settles down. But it's, you know, and the prizes. Okay, and they've already said that some of the items in there will be things that you've missed, maybe that you wished you could have got in the FM but haven't been around for a long time, and one or two things, maybe some things that may be released a couple of weeks earlier for the person that's actually won outright, and then everybody else will get it a bit later on. That's the plan.
I'm actually looking forward to it, and one of the reasons why is that, you know, on Monday morning everybody goes out and gets their allo points. They just go out and track, you know, 4 bases or 5 bases, what have you. Whenever this is, let's say it's, you know, the first weekend in September, just for argument's sake, there's going to be a lot of people on, a lot of base hitting, a lot of fleets out on the map. There's going to be a lot of people, I think, playing it for the first time, and so I'm actually looking forward to it, because I think it's going to be something where we're going to see we saw a bit of a spike when the Mudgluts came out, where there's a lot of base hitting that was going on, and so I think this is going to be interesting to where, yeah, maybe we get back to some of the BP basics.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things to iron out, you know, and I'm not going to talk about the specifics of how a campaign works and that sort of stuff and how you do an attack. But as it says in the chat there, you know, and it's been brought up forward, evening, mate, how are you? There are some very low level bases, as in the base numbers very low, but their fleets are very, very high. This will have only on the startup will that have a relevant point. After that, it will make no difference whatsoever. It's all about the bounty level. So, yeah, and if a level 90 wins and a level 127 gets smashed, well, then that's the reality of the game. The level 90 had a better build for that specific base hit, and if he ends up as king of the castle, then so what? Fleet, you know, time in the game, duration in the game, all that sort of stuff. It won't make any difference whatsoever.
Yeah, and they said, I think they said that they're planning on, you know, like even the door prize is going to be worth something. It's not going to be just like crap. So it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm curious to see how they have it set up.
Yeah, it will be interesting, to be honest. So.
And before anyone actually does ask this question, because they actually are aware that people might want to do, like in the old arena, you would come in the last like hour and start whacking and try and get, you know, top dog. That's not going to work. Like they've already taken
they're
that
coming
into
in late. The last, it's no point.
Right.
No point, because the points jump is so great, you wouldn't be able to achieve it. It's not possible.
And then there's didn't I hear that they're also, you can't like hide in your bubble for the last 2 days either.
No, bubbles are open.
Yeah, I think it's the last hour you can't get a bubble.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how. Yeah, I don't know how the bubbles are actually going to work during that. So
it could be that you at least get hit.
It's gonna be interesting.
You could at least get hit in that last hour. I think I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out myself, I must admit. But you can't just sit there.
Like,
I'll get a bubble. And that's it. I'm done.
Right.
It's not
Because
gonna
I'm sitting there going, you know, the last hour I don't have a bubble. That's great. So I'm going to take out 2 fleets, hide them somewhere, get leveled, and then just go and whack some people, you know, and don't go into my base. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna figure out a couple of things that we're thinking of, but you know, they have been testing it a lot. So hopefully they paid attention when it got broke a couple times.
George, they're picking on you in chat, mate, by the way.
Are
We
they?
obviously missed you.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Radio.
Like I said
Okay.
again, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, you know, I'm sure we're going to go through some growing pains till everybody learns it, but I think it's going to be great to be able to get back to some constant base hitting and seeing people on. And
I mean, yeah,
doing
this
that
coming
kind of
weekend
stuff.
would be a perfect time to do it. You know, there's a couple of TLCs there and stuff. The other ones have gone away. If you have done Skype already in the first week, then to be honest, what are you going to do this weekend? Chill out.
Like, you know, the other thing to think of too, and I just thought of this, when they do it, you need to pay attention to your jump clock too. If they're going to lock down jumping, you know, like the raid and that kind of stuff, you don't want to jump the day before and then find out that you're, you know, sitting next to.
I think the plan is to not lock jumping.
Yeah, so
Really?
so what they said was, from what I got, was you can, once you've taken part and all of a sudden you realize you're in a group, whether you jump or you don't, you're still in the same group.
Ah, okay. Well,
It
so
won't
then
make a
what
difference.
happens if you jump to a different world?
So that's a good
Then
question.
I mean, there's so, you know, we have what, 5 worlds. So there's going to be a little bit of manipulation with that, probably from the top end players. Excuse me, but there's only 5 worlds, and there's top players in all of those worlds. So all of them are going to be trying to do this. It's all going to probably even out.
Spread your lines out.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the top guys are probably going to be way at the top, and then there's going to be everyone else in the middle, and then a bunch at the bottom. I mean, it's going to be somewhat like the arena. I think. I don't know. I'm really curious to see how they have it set up, because it can go one of 2 ways. It can go really well, or it can go really bad.
Yeah, they definitely need to look at the jump thing, because if they're gonna put you in a pool, let's say we're all in the 200s and I'm in there and I start it, and then they don't turn jump off and I jump tomorrow, and if I'm still in the same pool, I can't get to anybody else and nobody else can get to me.
Yeah, my more of a concern though is you get to the top of the tree and then jump out.
Well,
and then you can't be
that's where
hit.
I'm going with the manipulation, you know, but it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean,
you jump out, forego all your points. There you go, unlucky.
Yeah, they could do a global pool and then just have the bounty be set up like medals, where everyone has X amount of bounty, and you can get bounty from anybody, not just those people in your pool.
Do you know what would be really cool? The top people in the last hour, the top 5 from all 5 worlds, get to fight off the last hour or something. That'd be quite good. Which is a spectator sport. We can have it live on TFC.
If we could watch it, that would be awesome.
That'd be
Could you
live
imagine
show
seeing
on
some of the
TFC.
hits?
If I could build the stuff I want to build, oh man, I'd be. Yeah, I think I would have fun, but I can't. So, you know, I'll be somewhere in the lower to middle class there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well,
I'll be a contender, but not a winner. Put it that way.
Yeah. If you've been goofing off and kind of let your base slide, that kind of stuff, you know, get out there and get your base parts and get your turrets up and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And because, you know, we don't know when it's going to happen, but, you know, obviously it's going to be relatively soon. So if you've been like I have and you've been kind of neglecting things, then you may want to.
Does anybody actually get base parts anymore? I mean, I haven't hit one of those targets.
I haven't bothered for ages.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the targets are.
2 levels of walls to do. So.
You lazy mare.
I told you.
That's terrible.
My bases, yeah.
Are you an alley leader? You lead an alley, don't you?
Yeah, no, I do like, you know, I get on and I do some, I get on and I do some, but I just didn't do them all in one hit like everybody else did, and then didn't do the last level.
So what Robin's saying is that you want to be in what, Gamma World? Alpha Beta Gamma? Yeah, Gamma World.
I'm not telling you.
Oh, I know exactly where you are. I'm not sharing.
Stewart parks his base like right on top of mine, and then it's like, God, really?
I won't say which sector, but I know which world.
Okay, let's move on, shall we?
Anyway.
We've gone down a big enough rabbit hole, I think, to be honest. Okay, so there we go. If you remember, then Endgame is this one here. So Endgame, obviously, first of all, gives you that fuel tank, the O1X, okay, which is a pretty decent one. We've actually got the blueprints, so we'll go through those in a second. So you get that there, and then you get some more. Please up the number of structure builds. You get some more structure build tokens, okay, then. just noticed then that each one, because it's endgame the way it is, and it's a mix of sort of things to attack. Obviously, this one is actually 6 hours per round. So round 1, 2, and 3 are all run for 6 hours. So there's no rush to get through this one, that sort of stuff, which you'll be quite thankful for, because if you haven't quite got your fleets up for the base hits, then you'll probably need the time. But if you have, then it's no problem at all. But yeah, so there we go. So that's run through 1. As you can see, run through 2 gets a really nice turret weapon. That D99S is a nice explosive, sort of scattery sort of, well, no, rocket turret, isn't it? And it's got a good range on it as well, which we'll look at the BP. You get some oppressor tokens. It's the little T's to get you into it. So a VXP. So if you've already got some oppressors but they're not fully ranked, there you go. Just get to that level if you want to. And you get, yet again, a stack of structure build tokens. Okay, so there you go. So that's 4 2 days, and you've got obviously two 1 days as well. So that'll help people. And obviously on the last encounter, then you get obviously 1 oppressor blueprint. Okay, as it says there, you can go through this campaign 5 times for the mastery round, which is the last round, round 3. And then obviously you're going to get a 6-day build token. So 30 days worth there. And why not? Because there's been some new missiles lately. New mortars have come out since this first oppressor came out. And you may want to do some chops and changes from your previous builds, which is what I'm going to be doing.
I kind of wish they'd added a couple more VXP, maybe not the 25,000 ones in the mastery one, because what do you need, like 100,000 VXP to rank just 1?
Yeah.
So even if they threw in like some 5,000 ones, so you'd get, do it through 5 times, so you'd end up with 50,000 to at least half rank 1.
Yeah, true.
That's the only one that I'm kind of like. That's the only thing I think I'm disappointed in this one.
Maybe as in like move that 25,000 across into the oppressor.
Oh, that would be fantastic. But then that's a fully skulled plus.
Yeah,
that way.
I mean, if they go for it 5 times, you're going to at least put 3 stripes on every one, or you can or in fact more than that, probably 3 stars on each one. If you're building 5, but if you're building 2, then you can probably crank a couple of them up to nearly sort of 7% sort of stuff. Yeah. Or am I just greedy? Maybe I expect too much.
You might, yeah. See, I was trying to be nice and be like, okay, leave the 25 in the run through 2, and
you're going to push it. Mate. You might as well push it.
5,000 VXP ones in the last one. I mean, all right.
Yeah, 20,000. How's that? Let's cut it down a little bit. So 5. Yeah, so 520s. They get you up to the 100. That rank 1, wouldn't it? Completely. So.
Yep.
I'm just a VXP. Don't worry about it. Okay, so there we go. So there's the fuel tank thing. So the nice thing about this, bear in mind you can't stack it with certain things, okay? But it's a nice special for your turret. Explosive damage 75% and splash obviously 80%. So it's quite heavy.
I like this one.
I do. I've got it on a few things. Great for scatter with that particular weapon that's there as well. But it can go with other things as well. So
uses a lot of power though. Just be aware.
It does. Yeah, it does. So be cautious when you're building. But
yeah, I took armor off of some of my back turrets and put this on there for some of the long range stuff, and I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? And the splash is nuts because it does make a mess of some things. Yeah, I like it. The explosive damage plus 75 is a Billy bonus, and then obviously you put some your platforms on your warehouses around and put some of the fire support on as well. It's cool. I quite like it. So that's obviously that one there, and then here's the turret top itself. It's great. It's got it's the fact that it's 105 range straight off before you even put obviously a special onto the turret itself. Can't remember what the range is. Is it plus 10% something like that? So it gets it up to,
yeah, it's 10.
Good. So that gives
10,
it more
10
range than that gives it more range than most of the other turrets. So it can just stretch to the outer edge of your base if you've got it in the typical sort of spiral shape. Damage is nice. Obviously, it's split over a salvo of 3, but it's still a good amount of damage. And I've seen Ren do a build on one of his videos for this, and it can crank up to sort of like 60 per salvo or something like that. It can come out at a crazy amount of damage. So for a rocket explosive, I like it. It did catch a lot of people out right at the early days. So if you haven't got this one already, then I really suggest you go and get it. It's a good weapon. Explosive defense bypass is nice. It's 95%, by the way, in case you didn't notice that. So that'll catch a few people out. Good. Go on, Rube. You can take this one.
I'm sorry?
You can have this one if you want to. What do you reckon to the Impressor then? Are you impressed with the Impressor? Or now the fact that we keep saying this word Voltron. Someone needs to explain it. I won't mention that. But now we've got the full series of obviously this fleet. This whole
wait. You don't know what Voltron is?
Well, I do.
It's from the other side of the pond.
Yeah, it is.
Well, technically, it's from the other side of the other pond, but you know.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it was like pre Power Rangers. It was like the original put it together Power Ranger Transformer thing.
Are we going down another rabbit hole?
No. That's that. Then no. Voltron came out after the Transformers, I think. But then before that was like Grandizer and crap. That was in the 70s. And G-Force and okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Battle Pirates, yeah.
Right.
Rabbit hole. Let's not go down there.
You can tell George is back. Okay, then. So just bear in mind then, obviously, this is obviously the class of this thing here, then the tier, then this obviously cannot. This is so unlike your previous ones. If you're going to go get this, don't complain that you can't use this in PvE targets. This was the first, obviously, of the Conqueror a Mort Chucker, retarget Mort Chuckers that you couldn't use.
Yeah, and again, don't feel like you have to go out and get 5 of them. That's something that a lot of people fell into. They went out and bought five Liberators, and then they did 5 Oppressors, and I specifically made the decision not to do that.
I built 3 of these, but I obviously did fight campaign 5 times. But I've got 3 of these, and 3's reasonable. I've never used 3 in one hit, I must admit. But it's like to have one that I can just swap one out, because when they take a Mort, it's taken a Mort. It's like boom, it's gone.
Yeah, so don't feel like you have to. There are a lot of TLCs. We just had a lot of TLCs. We've still got a couple. I think it's Skyfire that's still going, and then these new ones. So don't feel like you have to go out and get 5 of everything. At the minimum, I would say at least get 1. How many times have we seen where we've had a TLC and then the next TLC's come out and you needed 1 Pride, or you needed 1 Liberator, or you needed 1 Oppressor, and so 1 Incinerator, that kind of stuff. So I would at least, if you can't get all the way through all 5 of them, don't just make the decision not to do the TLC at all. If you can at least get 1 of them, I think that will help you for variety later on. And as Stuart said on the show on Saturday, picking and choosing your fleet, we're pretty much, I think we're almost past where you take 5 of the same animal out and go schwack a base. A lot of people are using different things within the fleets with the rival bloodthirsts, and I need one of these to kill those front ships, and then I need something else to kill the frontline turrets and that kind of stuff. So if you can get 1.
So so this was one of the early ones, that sort of stuff. It wasn't before Liberator, but and the Libs led us down a false sense of security, I think, because there was nothing to rival rivals. When the Liberator came out, people went, "Oh look, 5 of those, smash base, gone. We walk to the back of the park. It's easy," because it came out with a stunning missile as well. As things have developed and things have moved on, they've added some more turrets and a few more defense ships. Now people are understanding that's just not the way that maybe these things work. And as rendered his latest video, which is interesting, within 24 hours, his rival's video was shared 40 times and it had 2.5K's worth of views. So that tells you a lot about people are trying to understand this rivals concept and the Voltron effect of having all these different things backing each other up and the auras that they produce and that sort of stuff. So to that end, this one here is, as we notice, look, if you look at, they forget the attacking bit because we know what it does. It chucks mortars. That's interesting, okay? But it's what it can defend against. It's ballistic, amazing, okay? So maybe it's got like ballistic stuff up front, okay? This is the beast that actually goes in and sucks it all up, basically, while your other ships are doing things. Corrosive direction is quite decent, okay? But that's it. Stops there. So it's all the other ships that provide this thing the extra boost. And as you notice, then, and you will put a couple of hails on it. You'll have to, or that sort of thing, because if it takes 1 mortar, especially from obviously one of the big boys, then this thing's goner in one volley.
Bit of a glass slipper when it comes to explosive.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I was gonna say the other thing too, though, it's really kind of versatile. Like a lot of people lately have been saying how we don't have a lot of room to play with builds and stuff, and I mean I'm still playing with different things, but I was looking at this. It's got a CG DPS of 10,000. It's got the splash of 45, the explosive damage of 55, and we have a kind of new rocket that is kind of interesting when it's on this. So I mean, people, you might want to build one, you might want to build a second one just to play with, and with all the tokens that are coming out, And the other thing is, I wouldn't, if you can only go through this thing like once or twice to get one and then maybe build one with the 2 tokens, don't get discouraged, because if bounty is coming up soon, we're going to keep on seeing Conqueror hulls coming in availability through the TLCs. So build one, concentrate on building the 1 for now, see how get used to using it with the other rival hulls and stuff, and start getting into PvP. I mean, the tokens are great.
Yeah, there's been a couple of charts that do the overlap for the effect. Obviously, not only the rivals effect, but the aura effect as well. So there are a couple of charts out there, and I might get Brian to actually put one together that covers everything, including the bloodthirst effect, which is important because, as you can see here, then obviously once a 20 stacks is the rival stack, by the way. So in the little sort of like indicator bar indicator, it's got 20 different things. So once this thing, and it's shared. So once 20 targets have been annihilated, then basically this thing's at full stack, which is what was the great thing about the Liberator. Once it got 2/3 into the base, basically it walked the rest of it because it was just virtually immune at that time.
Yeah. And Diane, oops, sorry, I was just going to say, Diane actually posted on the page today a screenshot of all of the rival sections of all of the ships. So if you grab that because it's kind of handy that it's all there in the one spot and you don't have to go open up, find your ship, scroll down, and remember what goes with what.
Yeah, and Ren's video, he's got it all on one screen as well. So if you haven't quite understood what it means and how to stack these things together, even at the end of it, when he says you've got this ship, and this ship put together, this one boosts this one boosts that, and he tells you the overall effect of all the ships and actually what they all gain, you know, before it even goes into the rival's bloodthirst. So,
just remember that if you do lose one, you lose those things
across
too.
the whole fleet. Yeah, you lose everything. So this is a rotate in, rotate out type concept, isn't it? But anyway, this interesting. So that's the end game section. Okay, we'll move on then. So, do you want to take this section, Robin? Plunder. You quite happy to go for this one?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like off in La La Land.
Yes,
Plunder. This is the Survivor one. This is skirmish targets. Runs from the 1st through to for 6 days. I have to have Outpost 9 to be able to participate in this one. First run, we've got 5 encounters. Again, this one's a 6-hour one, so it should give you a lot of time to be able to get through that. Second run is 3 hours and is 6 encounters, and then run 3 is 7 encounters, but you still only have the hour, and the Survivor is limited hull. So you can go ahead and get 5 of those. If you've already got a couple, you can go ahead and complete that. You also get a handy dandy badge if you're one of those people that really likes having the new badges.
I've got some of those in my alliance. They love them. They love badges. It's their thing. They collect more than holes. They love the badges.
I got trouble from somebody the other day because I hadn't finished all of the campaigns because I didn't have all my badges filled out. And I was like, we have a slide with the prizes.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
So the first thing that we've got is the ballistic recoil suppressor, which really increases ballistic damage and increases ballistic reload. And it's I like this one. I just finished a Survivor today, as a matter of fact, with this on there, and no more nuke accelerator. I don't need speed if I'm using it in my base. So it's a lot less heavier than that, and so this does a really nice job of boosting those stats.
Yeah, I like the fact that its weapon power consumed is 20. It's quite decent, isn't it? Yeah. It's good.
Yep.
Okay, and then Emancipator.
Oh yes, I love this one, Emancipator turret. I wasn't real thrilled initially because I had just finished putting all of the other
range on it, the range,
blunderbusses on them, and then I looked at the range and went, holy cow! So I had made some changes to my 2 frontline turrets with the Emancipator on there. It uses a lot of power, so you kind of end up having to knock off some of your defenses. But if you're already killing things at the range of 175, it doesn't matter when they do get in range. And I saw a significant uptick in this. As a matter of fact, I had put on chat a while ago. Somebody decided to line my channel with 5 Liberators the other day, and I was, and they weren't. It wasn't like a naked build or unranked or anything like that. I mean, they were skulled and they were large and in charge, and it was crazy how good this was. So you can still use a lot of the specials that you had on for your blunderbuss turrets, and obviously still gain everything from your warehouses. But this is a good one. If you haven't taken the time to refit your fronts, I would highly recommend doing it.
It's I like it enough where I have I think like 5 in my base, and I mean it does suck up a lot of power, and you have to get a little creative with the specials and stuff. But
Yeah,
The
they
thing I like about
depleted uranium and the EM rails.
I've got on mine, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the fact that if you do put them at the front, and yeah, your front turret's going to get smashed. I get that because they'll just rotate around. But the thing is, with that range, especially if you put obviously the right transformer on as well, they'll come into your base and they're not even ready. You know, they haven't sorted themselves out yet. You take the first couple of seconds, it takes it, and he's like, well, right, I've got to move that base, and too late. Whole shit, because the splash as well.
Yep.
It's great. You know, you can do some with the range and the salvo and that sort of stuff. It's a bit slow on the reload time, but you can definitely get a good volley off and that stuff. I mean, 35k for damage, you know, and you can up that considerably.
Up that, and that one volley is enough to put a hurting on some ships.
Yeah, they haven't had time to sort themselves out. That's what I like, you know. So before they've even done anything, they've got some damage on their ships, which upsets people a lot. You know, unnerves them a little bit, and they're like, oh, hang on a minute, I've got to do this, I've got to do that, and they think, well, I've only got 15 seconds. This damn thing's going to fire again. You know, and obviously you can speed the reload and that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, so they're good. They're very good fun. And yeah, it does keep certain ships well out of the way, like Liberators and that sort of stuff. And they're normally pretty good for trying to pick off the outlining stuff. So yeah, I like them. Yeah. Survivor itself,
and then the Survivor hull. Like I said, I finished my first one today, so I'm going to park that in my base tonight in case Ford or somebody else wants to get frisky and pay a visit. This hull actually is kind of interesting. It's got some interesting stats on it. It's got a lot of really good defense, but the special abilities, again, they've got aura caps, and it is a rival bloodthirst. I don't know. I'm gonna kind of hold off on that. I've just built mine, so I don't know if George, if you want to step in on this one.
Yeah, this is badass. It goes in any base or fleet that I send out.
Me too.
Those special abilities.
Prides.
Absolutely. I got one in the back with the prides. I got the Visago, the prides, and this is sitting in spot 5. Those special abilities go to any ship in your fleet, and it's not the aura is not.
Yeah, so it doesn't link it straight, obviously, to another rivals. It goes to any ship, which I was really surprised about. I wasn't expecting that. So this one is in my base all the time. And then when I'm about to go hitting, I'll take it out and I'll take it when, like I said, with my prides and with an oppressor. And it's a phenomenal ship. It makes such a difference.
Yeah, and don't overlook it for base defense either.
No, it's in my base all the time. But I sit at the back because of the field effect that it gives to all the other ships and that sort of stuff. Or sorry, the boost effect. It's a brilliant, and I've set mine up because look at the penetrative deflection, that sort of stuff. So any penetrative crap that's in the way, I've set mine up as a spotter, and then it's got loads of hails all over the damn thing. So it's great fun.
I don't even.
Yeah, it's full of anti-mort stuff, full of anti-mort, and obviously with the oppressor in there as well. And then you've obviously got a mort ship. It's fine, So all that crap that comes at you, it gets chucked down. So you can actually get in close. You can go and park this next to your oppressor, and then your oppressor's not going to get touched. So you can put all the morts on your oppressor and that sort of stuff.
Nice.
That's what I do anyway.
So
just run those two together.
I might have to build another one now.
What
I was going to say though is if you're only going to do one of the TLCs, this is the one that I would suggest.
This is the most versatile hull in the rival series. Yeah, it'll go with anything.
Well, I don't know. I like the Liberator a whole lot.
Yeah, but it's not as versatile. This will back up a lot of other ships that aren't even in the rivals group.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
and it gives. I mean, it'll boost the old tier 5 stuff. So there's lots of stuff it'll do.
It's interesting. We noticed that most of everybody's guards are all full of offense ships.
Yeah, spooky that. And mine is, you put your Visago's pride in your base, and then you put a normal pride, and then you put this in, and then you put, you can have some fun with some of the attacking ships. It's not all about defense. I'm not a great believer in go all defensive. But sometimes the best defense is attack.
Yep.
Good. Anyway, so there we go. Stunning little ship and that sort of stuff. Completely underrated. Don't obviously just build 5 of them and try and attack somebody's base. You won't last 5 seconds. But it makes a great little spot. Like I said, I've got a range extender, one single. I think I've got I can't remember what the cannon is, but basically the one that rails. That's it. I've got one rail on it, and the rest of it's all hails and that sort of stuff. And it'll just sit there and take incoming missiles. It'll just sit there. It's great. It's good. Excellent. Right, Skyfire TLC. So. This one here is obviously in week 2 now. Okay, it's actually a bit longer than a week because it's got 8.5 days or something left on it. So, but it goes right up until the end, until basically the raid starts. So you can't ask for much more than that, to be honest. Is everyone getting used to playing with these sort of things now? I don't know if they are or not, but anyway. So yeah, as it says, attacking bits and bobs with monoliths, icebreakers, and citadels. It is a bit cheeky, this one, though. Compared to the icebreaker one, this one's a bit cheeky, I think, to be honest, as in damage-wise. Really compared the two.
Yeah, I did not finish it last time and was not going to build it, and then I saw yours, and so now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I noticed just from when I went in there, I thought, wow, this was a little bit high, and I think it was you or somebody else had posted saying that.
Yeah, I did, because I did a smart ass. Oh, I'll stream this one, and then I looked at it before, so I was messing around the front and went, oh look, you can go and do this, and I'll just kill a few ships off. It won't matter. And I thought, this is getting expensive. And I went, right, okay then. But I mean, let's look at the price list a minute. And actually, even if it does cost you 50 coins, even if it costs you 100 coins, you know, for those that coin, or 3 fleets if you've got to go and fix them, the end result is you're going to get 480 coins worth of free tokens. So, you know, that's an awful lot when you think about it.
And this one's not one of the mastery rounds where you have to go get 5 of them. The first prize pack gives you the actual blueprint for the Skyfire. So for the lower levels, don't think that, you know, you're stuck in having to do 5 of them to get 5 hulls. This gives you everything for at least the hull in the first row.
Yeah. So here we go then. So price pack 1, which is I think virtually anybody can do price pack 1, so long as you've got an FM fleet. I think you can definitely get the carrier, and then obviously you get the VXP token as well. So that's something, and it's doable, and there's plenty of time. And don't try to be a smart ass like I was, and try to be clever, because live on air is not a good time to be clever, because you just get caught with your pants down, which is what happened to me.
You just need to drink beforehand like you did the other night.
yeah, but that was the problem. That was the run through I did, and I was trying to be smart and go, oh yeah, this is how you do it, because it's the same as the other one. So it's the same as the the icebreaker one. No, it's not. But to my expense, I learned that quite quickly. So I was laughing to myself internally like a buffoon. But there we go. But there we are. Right. Anyway, yeah. So price pack 2, if you can, I strongly suggest you get that Hornet UAV. Although there was rumours another one, George, isn't there?
I don't know. That one I don't know.
Okay. I mean, Ren was saying something about this sod's law that they'll bring out some other UAV to chop it over.
There's supposed to be escalation weapons and specials, or weapons after the next raid, and I'm not sure to what extent that is going to encompass. I don't know if it's just for this level, the Skyfire stuff, the 2nd tier and below, or if it's going to be for like another new missile. And that does not thrill me. Neither does pack 3 of this, because this is for people that have to catch up. So, you know, while I love pack 1, you're right. I mean, anybody will be able to get that, and that's great. You know, you got your lower level guys, and they're going to grind out that first prize pack, and they're going to get this nice cool Skyfire carrier. They might blow a little bit to get those UAVs, and then they're screwed, because you know, you only got 2 build tokens, and you can't get those 10. You're screwed. I mean, it's I don't understand the logic behind some of this stuff sometimes. Like, they do some really, really good stuff, and then I just scratch my head at other ones. I don't get it.
Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, I mean, well, fortunately, I don't know. I think this is the right way around. They give you the ship first, and then they give you something to put on it. And so price pack 2 is doable. And you get 3 hours to do it in, okay. But then again, your fleet's dead, It's not going to fix in 3 hours, but you can patch it up at least, I suppose. Because not everything needs to have full health, but definitely the tank does, whatever you've got for a tank. But yeah, the 1 hour for price pack 3, you've got to be nails to get through that in one go without something dying, because it's a bit cheeky. I didn't have to say, it's my own fault. I forgot, and I didn't actually tank up and put any proper armor on my tank, and I didn't look until afterwards. So I had full D5 on my tank and that sort of stuff, and I was like, this thing is expensive. Well, I wonder why, because there's no charge on it. Yep. So I made a bit of a schoolboy error there.
Cheeky is a very apt word for that.
Yeah. Still head cruise. Do not, if you're going to do this one, take the cruise in with you.
Oh, good gosh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good gosh, most definitely. I would definitely crew this one to the hilt and that sort of stuff. But the point is, look, I mean, now let's look across the whole 3 set here. Okay, so you are going to get, in price pack 2, you're going to get Skyfire carrier, 1 day build tokens times 2. So there's 2 tokens there straight away. Then you get another 10 on top of that. So you're going to get 480, 500. You know, that's a hell of a lot of build tokens. You know, that's a hell of a lot of build tokens. So that equates to, you know, 12 days worth of instant stuff. And if it does cost you 50 coin to get them, it's still a good investment.
Yeah,
and the VXP, it's an investment. No, I think, you know, if anybody's even contemplating, for God's sake, coining one of these, I just go for this campaign. Even if you got all the stuff already, you got it in the raid, maybe still do it again. It's going to save yourself an awful lot of hassle in the long run. So I would do it. I think it'd be foolish not to. But anyway, so actually, before we go on to that, then what I was going to quickly do is just quickly switch screens and just to highlight that obviously this here is our TFC website. So obviously, actually on the not on Facebook, on the main thing, if you haven't seen it before, obviously this is just all you got to do is just go in, obviously, and do a Google search for Forsaken Council, and it'll come straight up. And go Forsaken Council TFCs and TLC, sorry, and it'll come up as well on this page. Okay, so we are always the top hit now. I don't know what Andrew's done. So I don't know if he bribed, but we come up. Forsaken Council comes up when it's the first thing.
Voodoo magic.
It is voodoo magic, but I don't know how he does it, but he does it. But the good thing about it is that already, okay, and so past DLCs, and he's working tonight, but he'll square it away. So these ones will come up. Plunder's down here, look, okay, and Endgame is down here as well. Okay, and already in the Skyfire one, then if you click on the Skyfire one, then there is a stack of videos for all different levels, apart from Price Pack 3, because I was too embarrassed to put one up. But I've done it, obviously. But if you want to just go straight to my video, you can giggle at me as I did it. So I have got mine, but mine was done as a stream, as opposed to, because I went from Price Pack 1, 2, and 3 in full time, and I haven't chopped it about. So, but anyway, but yeah, so going through Plunder, if you haven't done it before, you can't remember it and that sort of stuff, you click on Plunder then, and there are plenty of videos. Oh, look, it's one of yours, mate. Plenty of videos there from plenty of people and that sort of stuff, with different types of fleets, showing different types of methods and that sort of stuff. Oh, remember getting that thing trapped in that corner? So yeah, I remember that now. So even if you've done it before and that sort of stuff, and go, oh, I know what I'm doing. It's always I run back here and look at a couple of people's videos and go, oh yeah. Oh, I remember my little trick now. You know, so it does help you, I think, to be honest. It's definitely worth doing.
Yeah, right, reminds me how much I don't like doing them.
Yeah. Bit of jiggery poking, and we'll flash back to the other screen. Right, good, excellent. Let's move on. So here we go. So bug fixes and tuning. Then go on, George. You can have this.
So they fixed an issue where the limited blueprints would not accurately display their available amount for some users. Some people were going in and they could not see what the hell was going on. They fixed it. They fixed the number of hive nodes that prevented users from linking up, and I think this was.
What was that then?
Certain hives, like when you started getting, you know, when you started hiving your mega hulls, certain sides wouldn't let you continue the node, I guess.
Oh, right.
I think that's what it was, and I think this is what they were trying to address with that correction.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then the last one's interesting. They said fixed how UAV chaining range is displayed in the stat block when multiple components with chaining range are equipped. So the thing with this one, and I haven't had a chance to dig in and look yet, it used to be that the highest chaining range that you got equipped is what was used, right?
Yeah, like 70 for the other one, yeah.
Right. So now I don't know, because they were saying it was supposed to, like, the hull and the special was supposed to stack, and no one knew what was going on. So now I'm not sure if they changed that so they could correct all of this, or if they've just changed one thing with the hull, maybe. Like, I have to find out, because if they change the way that the whole thing works, then those crews that we've always...
Do you know what I was just about to say? There's a so what to this, isn't there?
Yeah, so if that crew now works...
Yeah, that chaining range of plus 30, yeah, and not actually just keeping the chaining range down to 30, which was goddamn frustrating.
Right. So that's gonna be something I'm gonna try and have to dig through maybe later on this week. I don't know. It depends on how much time I got.
On chaining range, it should be additive, and not multiplicative.
One would hope. I mean, yeah, one would hope, but
because if a chaining range of 30, you're not going to want, you know, it should be additive, because if you've got 70 plus 30, that's still reasonable, and that sort of stuff. It's not, multiplicative would be pointless.
Well, I mean, the problem is that if it goes back and, what was the it was the Drat carrier and one of the one of the UAVs would chain outrageously far.
It was the bomber, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
the
So now
bomber
if they've changed this, now we're like, okay, hold on a minute. This thing now might be able to chain all the way across the screen. Like, I don't know what they've changed. And this is one of those mechanics that, you know, is complicated to say the least. So it might take a little bit of digging to actually figure out what they did. But yeah, so that was an interesting one. I saw that and I was like, huh, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not they're just fixing a visual thing, visual stat number.
Good question. Don't know.
No, when we tested that crew, did they come out with the Holox? I think the first time it was just. I think it used to be just a legendary crew, and we were testing it with the. Yeah, I think it was the Atlas carriers or something. It was something like that. It was way back, and what we found was that it was taking the. It wasn't stacking. It was just taking one of the values, and that was it. So I don't know if, you know, like I said, I don't know. I mean, that's such an old mechanic, and it's an old, you know, data point that I've no idea what the hell they did. They weren't exactly particularly clear about it either, so I can't even begin to guess.
No, I understand. And I get it. Yeah, the thing is that issue has been going on for so long. I mean, how long has it been since people don't touch those crews? Everyone just rolls past them. Even you get the 3-star, you know, you're like that. No, I don't want that. It's rubbish and that sort of stuff. So now, actually, going back to thinking about it, it actually takes a bit of thought, doesn't it? You know, if they are worthwhile, a bit of confirmation would be quite nice. Now George is back. I'm sure you'll do some digging.
And I think I'm trying to remember because it's been so long, but I think that crew superseded whatever was on the fleet so that you would go down to 32. It was something weird. Like, it was something that just made the crew, it wasn't even worth putting it on for that 8% critical chance. So yeah, I'll have to try and do some digging and see what happens, because that would be an interesting crew to use now with the Skyfire, because, you know, an 8% critical chance, that's pretty badass with all those UAVs floating around.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I'm just going to quickly flash a couple of things. There's some good stuff going on the page at the moment, which I'm quite chuffed with. I like it when I like our page because clever people go on it and they do some clever stuff, you know. And it's not all about, you know, we just hopefully draw people out and that sort of stuff. So just have a quick shame, apart from the rubbish adverts, unfortunately, we always get and that sort of stuff. But you know, that's not linked to actually things you look at yourself, is it? Well, if it does, then obviously clear out things like selling. I don't even know where that place is, but there we go. So there you go. Someone's having a little Carl, he's having a look at, you know, so people saying that, you know, only gives you one type of revels. No, it doesn't. So, you know, here's a Survivor, 21 pen plate and that sort of stuff. And it's giving things across, you know, so people are starting to obviously understand this thing. That's a part of the Voltron effect. I don't know why we've called it Voltron. Did Kixie call it Voltron? I don't really know.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, they actually said that, didn't they?
Referenced. Yeah,
okay.
I think they referenced.
So I think what we need to do is probably get Brian onto it, and then probably I know for a fact that Hefe's done something on his show, and I might have to go and ask to speak to him, sort of stuff. But there is a chart that available that, you know, basically you can put most of this information down. Where if you've got ship A and you have ship B, C, and D, and it should probably come out well in an Excel spreadsheet. Then what's the total amount of boost that each one's going to get, and then what happens when each one dies off? Because that's the concern, isn't it? It's how they die off. It's a bit of a concern, you know, because if you lose the one that gives you all your pen deflection and you take a ship forward that's got none, then all of a sudden where it had some, you're going to get a bit of a Charlie Brown, aren't you? Because your ship's going to die in seconds, where all of a sudden, you know, 30 seconds before it was doing absolutely fine. So
I wanna say, who did I see had it? I think Thomas had put up Drizzt. I think he had put up.
Hang on. Yeah, he did actually.
I think that's who had put it up. Like I'm pretty sure. Like when I was scrolling through, because I scroll on my phone, and so sometimes I might make a mistake. But I think
Drizzt
he's the one. Yeah, I think he did put a. Why are you going your notifications?
I'm trying to think because he sent me something quite recently. I'm trying to think.
Just search the group. Search the group. Thomas Long.
Is it in the Brethren? No, it's not in that one.
No, it was on. He put it on our page.
Oh, did he?
On our page.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
He posted on our page. Because I was trying to read it while I was on the phone. I couldn't make out everything out, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I completely forgot about it until you just started talking about it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm sure someone did. Like, I remember someone did a chart, and I'm pretty sure it was him.
You need to search Thomas Long.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, if I'm just long. I'll have a quick flick a second and see if I can find it. But yeah, because in my notification there was somebody doing something, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, look at this bit here because actually there's a reasonable chart." And then someone, but it also needs this now, and it needs this now as well because, when obviously the effect kicks in. But then you got the counter of that as well. Things like, you found it, have you?
Yeah, I just posted the link.
Oh, look at you all over this.
Look at Rue.
She's all over this. Look at that. Look, yeah? She's definitely the one for this sort of stuff. Right.
There it is.
So there's the one there. So this is the it was on our page, right? Okay. So if you don't know Drew's guys, obviously he's a darn good player and that sort of stuff, but he comes up with some pretty good charts and that stuff and does some of the technical stuff. So here you go. Here's a. Let me take that off. So here's the effect. Obviously, Inquisitor at the top, additional aura effect, and that sort of stuff. Now it is missing a couple of issues there. Okay, it is missing a couple of issues. So what is the effect? Obviously, once you get the 20 up on the boost, on the bloodthirst, and that sort of stuff. So it's work in practice. I get that, but we will get it. We as a collective, as a player collective, we'll work it out and that sort of stuff. So that's a good start point. And he's done some good work there. But we'll get the guys all speaking to each other as most of the pages do now. We sort of like, there's not that so much rivalry as there used to be in those sort of days. And it's a good and collective for the whole community as far as I'm concerned. So
damn straight.
Yeah. The longer we can keep people informed and that sort of stuff, and there's been a few people return to the game, change their subject slightly. I've seen quite a few people come back to the page, 2 really old school players and that sort of stuff, and said, actually, do you know what? Things are looking interesting now in the PvP bit. I've come back to the game. I've got a couple of old friends that now help me get through the last raid. They coined some strips straight away, and now they're going straight through and they're hitting these TLCs and they're back in the game. Literally, okay, it's cost them a couple of thousand coins, but for them, they were big hitters anyway. They don't care, but they're back in the game. I mean, PvP is on the way back.
It's interesting. I mean, PvP has been a work in progress through this year, and I think I think part of the problem with the beginning of the year, especially with that feeling of content overload, is that we didn't have the full idea of what they were planning with PvP, right? And I think had they spent some time and explained the end goal back in like February, it would have saved a lot of angst during this year. Because like we're looking at it and we're actually finally seeing how all this stuff fits together, how it's gonna, how we're gonna be able to play going forward. And I mean, yeah, I think it would have saved a lot of aggravation from players going forward, because now it's like we're looking at the whole thing and they're like, oh, we got this and this and this and this, and people are getting a little bit psyched about PvP again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I agree. I think it's gonna be good. I think once they start understanding how this concept works, they're gonna have some really imaginative sort of fleet setups and that sort of stuff. And once they understand that what feeds what, and it's gonna make base hitting really interesting, because the old days of using 2 or 3 prep fleets to do prepping, now you're going to rotate ships around and have this 5 ship complex, or put 2 over here and 1 over there. Like I said, moving survivor down with your oppressor, it's a great way of keeping your oppressor alive and that sort of stuff, because it's got the inherent penetrative defense and the ballistic defense between the 2 of them. And it does make it interesting. So
it's gonna, I mean, it's gonna be very, very, very interesting for the next couple months, especially when if Bounty comes out in the next month or 2. I mean, that's going to be really interesting.
The only thing I hope they do is they keep their word. This is the end of this type of fleet now. So now we've got it. Bear in mind they calmed things down a little bit, because they were going to feed this out to us even faster.
Yes.
But then we should now calm down a little bit on the new whole concepts for PvP and that sort of stuff. There should be a bit of a pause now to let people catch up and that sort of stuff. So as Robin was saying there, I've got a funny feeling they'll be running this again next month. So people do it again, a bit like the Hyperion one,
Yeah, and that was something I really struggled, and I know others did. This last week was just like, oh my God, I'm going to be stuck on this game for hours and hours and hours. And so you got to weigh, how many tokens do you want? Which are the pieces that you really need? And I actually stepped back and said, okay, I'm not going to do that one, and I'm not going to do that one, but I need to do this one, and I need to finish this one. So don't get caught up in the have if you've already got a couple of each ship.
Yeah, I couldn't finish any of them this year. Although I'd really like to see Empyrean tokens somehow come out, because I have some really cool builds I want to test out. That's the only thing I haven't.
I got the ones in the raid, and I was eyeing that as well.
Oh, because I like there's a little mortar fleet that I
missile?
want to. No, there's a mortar fleet that I want to try for the raid.
Ah.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff out there, isn't there? I must admit. So
Yeah.
right, I'm not overly plugging people. I hope I'm not anyway, to be honest. But I was just saying there quickly. So we've got all our links on the side of our page and that sort of stuff to get you to various different places. So like I was just saying on here, so Ren's done two things then basically he's done his how to build, including the flagship of the Skyfire. But more importantly, okay, in the general, as we're talking PvP and that sort of stuff, is this one here. So this is initially building a ship and then pairing it with X, Y, and Z. You know, this is really, really good. The Rival Series one as well. So this is his first. He's going to do a group of these videos, like I said earlier on in the thing. So he's just basically said, right, there's a Liberator, because we all know how to use that one. And I think he used 3 Liberators. And he said, right, what else can I bring in with this then? So he brought in the new ship and a couple of the bits and bobs. So, and then at the end of it, he did the calculation of, right, if you've got that ship and that ship and that ship, this is what your total fleet is going to get and that sort of stuff. So it's another way of doing it. It's a visual way of doing it, and he talks you through how it makes sense. So rather than just looking at a chart and going, it's woods and trees I can't see, he actually talks you through it stage by stage. So have a little look at that sort of stuff. So and I suggest you probably subscribe to him, because it's going to help an awful lot, because he's going to do, like I said, a series of those. So that's it. Right, I'm done. Anybody else got anything they want to cover before we say that's enough for tonight? Or are we good?
I think we went down plenty of rabbit holes today.
Yeah, we didn't do bad.
No, just a thank you to everybody, and not just Ren, but the rest of the folks that are putting videos on the page. If you've got something and you think it's beneficial for it to go on the page, you have the ability to submit builds on the page, or you can just tag Andrew in the post on the Forsaken Council, Andrew Hart. And that will also help get those videos out there. The poor guy does actually have a life, and he does have to work, and he works a lot. So sometimes, he'll get on and there'll be 750 posts since the last time he was able to get on yesterday. So
he
if you have
he filters a lot.
So if you have a video and you think it would be helpful to post it on there, just give Andrew a tag or tag me or somebody, and we'll make sure that it gets out there. But thank you for sharing everything that you guys do, because that's what we're about.
Yeah, super. All's good. Right. Okay. So enjoy yourselves this week. Have a lovely, quiet-ish weekend. Okay, then. Don't forget, this is the full hit when the FM recycles. This is the full time you're going to get, obviously, the full amount of build tokens. If you're up to speed, you'll get 2 sets, obviously, in the tier 4 or price pack 4, and you'll get 2 sets up to 10. Okay, if you're looking like me, Robin, hey, you'll get 10 tokens. Okay, if you manage to get through to the final round twice and that sort of stuff. So there's a potential there of a lot of tokens. Okay, so
I have plans. I have plans this weekend. Ford is actually in my sector, and so I'm actually thinking of crossing over to the dark side and insecting.
Oh, nice. Are you going to smash him up?
I can jump to a sector like next door. I mean. Anyway,
right, you heard it here first. Robin's going to smash Ford. Okay, then. And on that note, we'll leave it.
Thank you all for your time.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.